Brett here. Okay, I'm going to start a big pose cold, then I'm going to warm up through shaking, and then I'm going to start it again. So what you're going to see in the video is you're going to see me do a cold. I'm going to fast forward through the shaking part and then show you what it looks like when I start warmed up. So I've got two spots on the wall here. This pose is my favorite pose in the sequence. I'm going to put myself on the ground, head against the wall. I'm going to reach up with my hands and then see where I go to. So this is what I look like starting, and of course I'll warm up throughout the pose. Okay, so now I've done that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do the pose after shaking. So here we go. Feet parallel, knees bent. Now since I'm working on my shoulders tonight, I'm going to do a little bit of external rotation or lateral rotation of my arms. And what that's going to do is it's going to change the trajectory of where I'm feeling the shake. I've been talking about shaking plenty, so I'm not going to really talk about it too much. I'm just going to sort of shake and hum to really warm myself up quickly. So here I go. Take a breath. So since I'm pressing my vagal nerve a little bit, I can get out of breath, but really what that is I'm building up CO2. And so over time I'm building up my CO2 tolerance. But I notice that as an out of breath feeling. So if you get an out of breath feeling, just take a few breaths and get back into humming. My face is already starting to warm up. Now, I was tight in my arms when I was in that pose on the wall. So I want to make sure that my arms are getting loose as well. So I'm going to let them hang, and that'll also get a good shake throughout the arms and loosen me up on the inside, which is where I was feeling it. Tonight, I'm looking for or listening for an indication. I'll hear a double bounce in my hum, and that's because my diaphragm is moving up and down, and that will start to interact when I start to get loose in the chest, and you'll hear a bit of a double bounce. It's hard to describe, but it's obvious to me. Maybe it's not so obvious since almost nobody's actually listening at this point. But I'm already starting to get warmed up. It's starting to get there. Huh. Looks like the Bluetooth just disconnected and reconnected. We'll see what that does. I'm guessing now my lips are out of sync, but that's fine. So I'm starting to be able to put a little bit of tension in my ligaments, actually my fascial chains, and I'm actually able to do a little more sort of shaking throughout my whole body by just a little bit of, yeah, I'm starting to get loose. When I add humming, I really loosen up quite a bit faster than just shaking by itself. But I'm right now, I can feel this shaking all through here, which is what this pose is going to hit. It's going to hit here. It's going to hit here. It's just going to, it's a big opener. Actually, this pose that I'm about to do is really excellent if you sit all day. It's one of the 4 poses that I recommend if you sit all day. I'm starting to get some heat on the inside of my arms, so they're loosening up. Still in my face, starting to get upper chest. And that's, again, my collagen is going from a rigid or gel state into a loose sol liquid state. And also that means my collagen is going to get hydrated as well. Now, I'm sure nobody wonders, what if we do throat humming instead of regular humming? I can do it, but it's just not as effective, but it sounds a little bit different. It's just not as effective. But it's really good to sound like Grover or Yoda. Years ago, when Star Wars was a deal, back in the 90s, when we had these things called answering machines in our homes, I had one that had a cassette player, another technology most of the people listening to this probably haven't heard of. Actually, nobody's listening. What am I saying? But my message was, message you leave, get back to you, I will. So Yoda is throat singing or throat speaking. Now I'm pretty loose up here. I can already tell. This is loose. This is loose. Let my arms dangle. I'm also sweating at the temples. In fact, I can feel sweat coming down my left side right here. Yep. So I'm releasing a lot of tension in my body. That's going to do a couple things for me. One, I'm going to sleep better tonight because while I'm using a little more ATP, the energy of the cells while I'm doing this, my nervous system is going to be turned down after that. And so over time, I will use less energy. But more importantly, since I've turned down my nervous system, I'm not going to be on alert as much. And I suspect that I will sleep better. Though I've had a lot of liquid, drank a lot of water late at night because I was thirsty. So who knows? We'll see. And I've got sweat on this side as well. So there are fascial lines here and here. So this is different than this. And in fact, from a defense standpoint, this is far more energetic than this. But this is still a good strike, but so is this. Okay, I think that's enough. I may not be fully released, but I'm pretty well released. I have no idea how long it's been. Okay, 10 minutes, that's not bad. A little less than 10 minutes. So again, here are the tape points. I think I was down to about here in the initial stretch. Now I need a timer. Gonna do this for 5 minutes. Now, since I'm starting this pose loose, there's a couple things. This is a great pose. It's my favorite pose. Normally, when I'm a little cold and I go into it, it takes me a while before I'm doing any kind of potential damage or I will receive any kind of nociception signals. That is, nociception is the signal you're about to do damage. And if you notice it and pull back, you're fine. But a lot of people notice it, assume it's damage, it's warning of damage, and so your ego overinterprets it. And as a result, you jerk back, and so you actually do damage. So unfortunately, when you get a nociception signal, if you know how to, if you're moving slowly, you can sense it and then just pause, slightly pull back. And you might notice if you're measuring your HRV that you get an RMSSD signal, boost, 200, 300 milliseconds, and you might feel it in CNX, just below the pineal gland, behind the third eye, about 3/4 of an inch in. That's where the CNX is. Cranial nerve 10, that's CNX. CN11 or CNXI is the trapezius muscles, which, by the way, I mentioned it because I'm going to hit my trapezius muscles. So here we go. So heads between the tape. Start. And let's see where I stretch to now. So I'm not fully relaxed, but I'm definitely more relaxed. And now I'm just going to hold this. Now, if you want to up the intensity of this stretch, hum. Ooh, my back is really tight. Still, my mid-back. If you look at my feet, I don't know if my feet are on the video, I've got my toes touching. And the reason for that is it pushes me forward a little bit, which intensifies the stretch. But also, if your feet are flat, plantar flexed, and your legs are straight, you might get this weird effect either in your calves or in the arches of your feet because you're really unloading and loading certain parts of the body, and the body gets confused and signals start getting crossed. And so you can get some really nasty cramps. Wow. I'm pretty deep at this point in the pose. Pardon me. This one definitely causes me to burp sometimes. Let's see, I'm going to relax my feet and see if they're okay. They are okay. but I've also got Crocs on, which means my feet aren't going completely flat. My diaphragm is really getting stretched just below my xiphoid process. So if you watch my diaphragm as I inhale and exhale, I'm moving slightly in and out of the pose. Okay, I'm going to come out. Now to come out of this, I'm going to inhale, lift up, bring one arm down, slowly, protect myself, bring the other arm down. Oh, man, my arms are really stretched. And then I'm going to just, for a second here, put my head down. Then I like to put my shoulders under, my elbows under my shoulders, and then turtle back. But I'll tell you what, my shoulders have just been hammered, and it's a wonderful thing. But it is probably one of the least favorite poses in the series. Okay, now I'm going to do two more poses. I'm going to start by, I'm really sweating. That was intense. I'm going to pull my shoulders apart. I'm going to cross my arms, put my chin down, and in doing that, what that'll do is it's going to take my shoulders and pull them apart. And I'm going to do it twice because I'm going to have right arm in front of left and left arm in front of right. So again, I'm doing each of these poses 5 minutes. So I'm doing 2 to 5 minutes is the general time sequence for most of these poses. And on this one, believe it or not, it's going to look awkward. It's awkward, but once you learn how to breathe in this pose, you can fall asleep. So this pose, definitely use a timer. And in fact, I normally go right versus left, but whichever arm I do second, it gets a little bit uncomfortable. So since I normally do right, I'm going to do left first to mix it up. This pose, actually these three poses along with neck isometrics really help integrate your head and your body so that when you have trauma or when you have a serious situation, some kind of emotional or stressful thing, your whole body can get engaged. And when that happens, your cranial nerve, which controls your trapezius muscles, turns on the trapezius muscles to stabilize your neck for protection. That's a natural thing. But also, when that happens, if your muscles are well integrated, you can get a better electrical flow from the head to the body. Your collagen matrix is piezoelectric. And so all of a sudden, all this excess energy going on in your brain that's just firing, going crazy, all your glial cells, what they call glial cells, the astrocytic cells, releasing glycogen to override, or I guess to basically add nitrous to your brain. If that doesn't have a place to dump, it just echoes in your head. But by doing this kind of stuff along with neck isometrics, you get better better head-body integration.
Now I say head body, but to me it's just the body. The head is not special. It's one piece of the overall thing. You've got your gut brain, the enteric system. You've got your heart, your cardiovascular system. You've got plenty of neurons in your spine. So I reject the idea that the head is all there is. It's a silly reductionist view, in my opinion, based on my personal experience of dealing with trauma, personal trauma, and high stress situations. If you can get your body and mind, or body and brain, head and body connected, it doesn't take away the issue, but it makes the issues more manageable. Humming is a little more awkward in this one because of the way I've got my chin on my arm. I think I'll just avoid it for now. Okay, switch arms, and once again. I was just starting to wonder if I had set the timer, and I had, but it was getting close. Okay, now, last pose. The last pose I did for 4 years in a particular way, and I'll show you how I did it. And then I made an adjustment, and it made all the difference in the world. It's called wide dog. And so you start in an approximate down dog. Here, I'm going to do it at a slight angle. All right, so here. So you start in a down dog, then you come up narrow, and then you go wide. Problem is, I can't get into my shoulder, and what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to target my shoulders. But a quick adjustment with some height. And I'm going to go ahead and get my trusty bench over here. I've got one of many. This isn't my favorite one, but this is a good height. So what I'm going to do is the same thing, but I'm going to use this to allow myself to dump into my shoulders. Oh, right there, I'm already deep in my shoulders. And so I'm trying to imagine my breastbone dropping to the floor. And this is really going to, before I was stretching my trapezius muscles, and now I'm collapsing them down. Okay, so here we go. Set the timer and go. This is a good one to hum in. Now, if you're going to hum and you want to get all the way down to your ankles, take your fontanelle, which is right here. It's above, it's the point where the tips of the ears would meet at the top of the head, about the back third of the head, and push it forward. That, along with pushing your butt back, will engage the superficial back line. Now, right now, I'm not getting down to my ankles, but I'm really getting both sides of my spine vibrating with the hum. Now, if you want to target, maybe I'm going to bend my knees just a little bit. There we go. This does give you a bit of a hamstring stretch, and that's fine, but hamstrings are easy to stretch. So I'm more worried about getting my shoulders here. And for me, the elevated hands make all the difference in the world. But after this pose, especially if you've been humming, you've really got to come out of it careful, because my back is really, I've really loosening the entire spine. Certainly the cervical and thoracic areas of my spine are pretty going to be pretty loose. And so I got to really be careful not to use those muscles to come out. So I'll drop my hands, maybe drop my knees. Once I'm in a neutral position, once I get back to sitting on my heels with my spine erect, it's fine. But until you get there, you really don't want to use those muscles that you've just stretched. And that's true of any stretch. Whatever muscle you're stretching, avoid using it to come out of the stretch. I find that is essential for me. Younger bodies may be fine. That's pretty, okay, that's too much. Or rather, I'm starting to get some signals that I'm going too far. So I'm going to go ahead and pull back a little bit. When I was 14, I fell off a train bridge. And I landed on right between my shoulders. crushed my back, and it was frozen until about, well, let's see, 1981 to first quarter of 2025. So I'm getting a lot of shaking. That's the twitch muscles, type 2 muscle fibers, I believe. So believe it or not, I'm building muscles while I'm doing this. Not going to be big muscles, but I'm building muscle mass at a time in my life when I tend to be losing muscle mass. But my arms are getting a bit tired. Oh, good. Okay, so I'm going to do this. Now I've got this arm locked off, and this, and then I'm just going to come down to the ground. Oh, my back is really stretched. I got to be really careful right now. The entire back is just completely extended. And then I'll do something like this just to, oh yeah, I really got my back good tonight. So you wouldn't want to do any kind of lifting or anything with my back or shoulders for now at this point, 2 to 4 hours, because I've really stretched things. So I've taken that collagen, I've reshaped it a little bit, and it's going to take a couple of hours for it to be fully rehydrated. It's completely fine. Just don't go playing tennis after doing something like that. But I'm going to call it. Have a good night.